Make sure my door's closed.
Okay, so welcome everyone to our first Friday forum on the second Friday. So thanks for joining us today. And you can mute yourself now, Michael.
I'm muting.
So we're happy to have everyone. Happy New Year to everyone. We had a lot of interest today. I think everybody's ready to get back and hear what's going on in the town. So of course, we'll hear from Christine Tibbs of the CRA first, and then we'll get our partner reports. We've got a few of you on, and we'd love to hear from the city, Kent, and Michael Corbett from Career Source. We have some news about the job fair that we just did. Gustav from Discover the Palm Beaches is here, so we'll get to hear from everyone. But in the meantime, let me introduce our guest today. So our guest today is Christine Tibbs. She's Assistant Director of the CRA, the Delray Beach CRA. And she's a Wellington native, but she's been visiting Delray Beach for many years. And her and her husband and her daughter moved here a few years ago. But at the time, she was working for the city of Miami and the planning department. So she managed the development applications and things that went before the city commission and the city of Miami board. So she has incredible experience, and we're very lucky to have her in our little town in Delray Beach. But like me, when she's not working, she loves to travel and go to events and the restaurants in Delray Beach with her husband, Matthew, and her daughter, Olivia. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Christine, and she can share her screen, and she's going to let us know what's going on with the CRA. They have a lot of projects that are coming to fruition and starting right now. So she's got a lot to tell us about. So over to you, Christine.
Hey, thanks, Stephanie. So happy New Year, everyone. Happy to be here and share what the CRA is up to for this year. Let me see if I can get this into presentation mode. There we go. Okay, so I know many of you are familiar with the CRA and what we do, but for those of you who might be new to the area or new to the chambers, the ultimate goal of the CRA is to improve the quality of life for the benefit of those that work and live within the CRA district and the city of Delray Beach as a whole. A little bit of background. So the CRA was established in 1985. We are governed under Chapter 163, Part 3 of Florida state statutes, which guides us in what we can and cannot do. We're directed by a CRA board, which comprises of 5 members, which also happens to be the Delray Beach City Commission. And we always like to remind everybody, while there's still time for the CRA, we do sunset in about 20 years. Our current sunset date is 2044. We are hoping to extend it to 2045, so we do get the full benefit of the 60 years that we were allowed under state statutes. And just a bit about where our money comes from. We do get tax increment funds, which is not an additional tax. It is a portion of the taxes that we get from the city and the county. So we receive 95% of the increment, the increase from the city and the county, and the city and the county keep, their remaining 5%. And then, just to go back here, if you want a map of our boundaries and our sub areas, we do have a active GIS map that we update constantly. So if you want to hit up our website at delraycra.org, you can get a look at our properties and where we are doing projects. So our overall goals to meet the overall needs of our CRA district, removal of slum and blight, address any land use issues, economic development, affordable housing, downtown housing, infrastructure improvements, and improvements to recreation and cultural facilities. So as this is our 40th year, so 2024 is our 40th year, or I'm sorry, 2025. We are going to take a look back at what we've done. So many of you attended the Hatcher groundbreaking and the ribbon cutting. So that's one of our most major recent projects in the West Atlantic area. You'll recognize the Fairfield Inn, that also had a grand reopening that the chamber put on. That was amazing interior redesign there. And you'll recognize the IPIC building, and then the buildings that, Ziri is in, And then infrastructure improvements that we worked with the city of Delray Beach throughout the years that, we all get to enjoy as we're going through the district and the downtown area. We also touch on historic preservation. So the buildings that the CRA offices are in are historic, locally registered buildings. One of them was actually moved on a barge. The two cottages that are on Northwest Fifth Avenue, that the yellow cottage and the teal cottage are historic structures too. And then of course, La France that we keep as affordable senior housing is a historic building that used to be a hotel. And now the lovely waste finding signs that are going up around the city, those were a project that the CRA funded and the city is now installing. It was a long effort with the whole steering committee to develop these signs, and we're happy that they're going in. I know they're going through a round of improvements right now for better visibility, but I see that the improvements are already happening. So that's good that they're moving forward with that. And that's just a little map of where they're going to be going. Right now, they're just going to be in the CRA district, and hopefully they'll be completing that soon. We also are leaning heavily into increasing our affordable housing stock, affordable workforce housing stock within the CRA district. Corey Jones Isle was a big project that was completed in 2021 in partnership with the CLT. We do work with our nonprofit developers to income qualify and facilitate the sales of these workforce homes, but we've also worked with private developers as well. Carver Square was a big workforce housing development for us. It was 20 homes that was built in one phase. They started at $169,000, and that was for the home and the land. So 20 families were able to move in pretty quickly. These homes were all finished within 18 months from NTP through sale. So that was a great project that we were able to partner with Pulte on. And our newest space, 98 Northwest Fifth Avenue. It was apartments and a couple of retail stores on the bottom with some parking that we redeveloped and reused. It is now affordable office space. There's 5 bays on the bottom and a CRA co-working space on top. Right now, the co-working space is only open 1 day a week on Tuesdays. However, in the near future, we are going to expand to 5 days a week. So look forward to seeing those new hours soon. There are 2 bays that we are hoping to rent out soon, and that would complete our 5 tenants at the bottom. So they'll be full in the near future as well. They're going through various phases of design and construction right now. There is 1 tenant in there that is fully operational. So we are hoping to see this building alive and thriving, full of tenants and customers and clients really soon. So what's ahead for 2025? What you guys are all here for. So when we wanted to give a breakdown of where we're spending our budget this year. Most of our budget, as in previous years, is being concentrated in the West Atlantic area. So when we talk about the West Atlantic area, it's not just along West Atlantic Avenue. We also mean the neighborhoods that are north and south of Atlantic Avenue. So sub areas 3, 4, and 8 are where we are putting the bulk of our funds into. And that is due to some projects that you'll see that are major projects, they're infrastructure related. And we're just planning also for the future that, we're helping the city fund those projects, and they're going to require a lot of money. So we are also saving for that. And this is just another chart showing the breakdown of where we're spending our funds. So our focus areas for this fiscal year have been completing existing projects and continuing the programs that people are familiar with and that are that have been really great for the district. Land acquisition for affordable and workforce housing. We have put aside more and more money every year. We've been fortunate enough to be able to do that so that when opportunities come up and it does fit with our redevelopment plan and it does help us clean up, a piece of property and also add to our workforce housing stock, we definitely are interested in those sales and purchases. Infrastructure, we partner with the city on major infrastructure projects, and I'll go into a little bit of those that are coming up, and assessing development opportunities for West Atlantic Avenue, which is the big topic that a lot of people are interested in. So more specifically, short-term and long-term planning initiatives, we do need to complete our CRA redevelopment plan. It's in the final stages of getting that final draft completed and then sent for approval. Completing the set transformation plan update, also known previously as the West Atlantic Master Plan. There are some updates that were requested by the board and the community. So we are going through that to see what needs to be updated and then finalizing that draft. West Atlantic Avenue Development Strategy. That ties into if you've been to our CRA socials and you had the opportunity to look at our October 2024 workshop, we did work with a consultant to study and analyze the West Atlantic Avenue area. We also have an active RFQ out for commercial property marketing for the West Atlantic properties. And I'll go into that in a little bit. And identifying sites for acquisition. We are continuously trying to identify which sites could be acquired. But for the most part, property owners have come to us if they're interested in selling. And also realtors. So if any properties in our district and you're interested in selling, we always have an open door in terms of listening to those opportunities. And ongoing property maintenance and activation, especially for 95 Southwest Fifth Avenue, which is completing construction soon, and then finishing the tenant build out for 98 Northwest Fifth Avenue. We are also working with the Delray Police Department to enhance security measures for all of our properties. In terms of active bids that were out or ones that are currently out, we are looking to put out a commercial property management for all of our commercial properties. The Northwest 600 block, that is a mixed use development. Some of you might have seen the conceptual drawings that were at one of our most recent CRA meetings of the townhouses with the units in the back. But if you didn't, I will be showing them shortly. The Northwest 800 block, the container / modular commercial activation on West Atlantic Avenue. That RFQ just recently closed, and we will be heading into the evaluation stage and then making a recommendation, hopefully, to our CRA board for award. We are going through all of our lots that are suitable for affordable and workforce housing. We are actively in multiple replatting situations where we're breaking up lots that could fit 2, 3, or 4 sites and working with the city on those approvals. And we also have a couple of demolitions that are planned. So if you go through the West Atlantic area, you might see fencing or some spray painting up on some buildings, and this is what's happening. There is a dilapidated parking lot on Northwest 7th Avenue, right behind Hatcher's building that a fence is currently up at, and we're going to demolish that dilapidated parking lot and prepare it for our mixed use townhouse development there. Fencing will soon go up on 700 West Atlantic Avenue, which is the green building right on West Atlantic Avenue. That is going to be demolished hopefully before the end of the month. So you'll currently see it with some spray painting on it, but that's our contractor who is preparing the building for demolition. And then there is another structure on one of our infill lots that's residential that we do also need to demolish as well. It doesn't have a roof. It's actually pretty unsafe right now. And then these are the city projects that we are partnering on with them and continue to work with the Old School Square master plan implementation, which was budgeted, that we hope to move forward with parts of those elements in the master plan. Wayfinding, as I mentioned, there's also a couple of park improvements that are in the works with the Parks and Rec Department. And of course, the major renovation project, the $45 million Pompey Park project that we hope will break ground soon. I know they awarded the construction management at risk aspect of it. So hopefully that gets completed shortly so they can move on to reviewing the construction documents. Northwest neighborhood infrastructure improvements. That is a complete streets overhaul of the Northwest neighborhood. So sub area 4 for us that we've been told is about $70 to $80 million once it hits construction, that the CRA is fully funding. Hopefully, they also get a federal grant, so the city is working on that aspect as well. We also pay for 3 alley improvements in the Southwest neighborhood, which are coming up to completion, additional drainage improvements on Artist Alley by our Arts Warehouse and all of those businesses there, and the disparity study with the city, ADU amendment study that we're working with the city on. And then looking forward to the future, we are also putting money aside for the Southwest Neighborhood Complete Streets project, which is the mirror of the Northwest Neighborhood one. But we've got estimated budget coming in maybe upwards of $100 million to do that project. So we're already setting money aside, even though it's years down the line still. Okay. And these are annual projects and positions and programs that we fully fund in conjunction with the city. So there's contractual services that we pay for and the Clean and Safe program that I'm sure most people are familiar with, that the CRA also pays for. And this is just the Clean and Safe district. It kind of mirrors the DDA district, but additional officers are, their footprint remains in the Clean and Safe district. So that's what the CRA funds, is 10 additional officers in this Clean and Safe area here. And litter prevention. If you go more into our budget and work plan on our website, it describes the full program and what we fund within this area here. So going into more specific projects that are major for this fiscal year, Pompey Park, obviously $45 million. If you want to learn more about this project, where it's at, the QR code is up there on the slide. It's going to look beautiful. And then this is the Northwest neighborhood. We currently have $8 million in it. Like I said, we got estimated maybe $70 million, but the city is looking at federal grants to hopefully pay for a big chunk of this. And we have been told that there's 3 different phases, and phase 1 is almost done with design, I believe. So we'll see the timeline update shortly. These are the alleys, the 3 alleys in the Southwest neighborhood that are just near completion and closeout. Artist Alley, additional drainage improvements that are almost near completion and closeout. And 95 Southwest 5th Avenue. Should update these pictures, but if you want to drive by, the louvers are fully in, the building is painted, landscaping should go in soon. For this building specifically, we are hoping, based on feedback that we've gotten and interest that we've gotten so far, we are hoping to target medical services for the community. So if anybody knows of a hospital or a doctor's group or those type of services that would want to come in and potentially just utilize the entire building, because there is parking space. There's 1 unit downstairs and 2 units upstairs. Please send them our way. We are interested in talking with any medical group or hospital group that might be interested in having a satellite office over here in the West Atlantic area, because that's our next step, is to find that type of tenant to fill and build out the space. Here are more progress pictures. Oh, the pic of the painting and the louvers going in. So Northwest 800 block, the modular construction development. The RFQ has closed. We have gotten submitted proposals. The next step is the evaluation committee stage. And hopefully everyone will see this item on a near future CRA board agenda, recommending something. We'll see what the evaluation committee comes out with. But these are just conceptual drawings. The end project, of course, we would still have to work with any selected proposer, selected contractor, and the community to finalize. And more pictures of the design. The Northwest 600 block. This is the mixed use townhouse with the accessory dwelling unit. There is one commercial space that we are going to be building. It's labeled 34 in the picture and the map that you see. So we're going to keep that the commercial side of it. You'll see Hatcher's building is 20 and 26. 32 is a single family home that was actually recently purchased by Hatcher Construction. They're converting that space into an additional office space as well. So we'll have kind of complementary buildings there at 32 and 34, and then the parking will be off the alley that runs up the middle of that block. The I alley will be improved as part of the Northwest Infrastructure Improvement Project. So you'll see at the top off of Northwest First Street, 2 lots that will be part of our townhouse development. So on the Northwest 7th side, these will be a row of townhouses. The lot that is not purple there in between 9 and 23, we've had the fortunate opportunity to actually enter into a purchase and sale agreement. So we are in the due diligence phase of finalizing that purchase right there. So we'll be able to complete the row of townhouses and not leave that little strip out. So we are very excited that the owner of that lot agreed to our offer. So now we're going to be able to offer that much of a better project to the community. And so this is the concept that we are proposing for our townhouse units here. 2-story, 1-car garage, parking spaces for 2 additional cars. You'll have an interior courtyard there. And then above the garage is also going to be an additional unit with a bedroom, a kitchen, and a living area, and a separate entrance that leads off of the courtyard into that additional unit there. And then these are some designs that we shared at our last board meeting of what this could potentially look like on Northwest 7th Avenue with all of the streetscape improvements and the townhouses. And an aerial, which will be filled in. That vacant lot will be another set of 2 townhouses there. And off the alley is where all the parking will be, and where you would enter through the covered area into the interior courtyard and the back of the main unit that's on Northwest 7th. Okay. So for more additional workforce housing, we do have pending purchase and sale approvals that are going to be on our January 28th CRA board meeting. 4 additional lots, or actually 6 total additional lots, will be sold to nonprofit partners for the development of 6 additional single family homes within the CRA district, the West Atlantic area. We do have 7 lots that are pending those lot splits and platting applications in front of the city. And once those platting applications are finished, they will also be put out for development of affordable workforce housing. And now the West Atlantic development strategy concept study that we partnered with our architectural consultant with. Some of you may have seen these at our CRA socials. We did have a CRA workshop. So if you didn't get a chance to attend a social or go to the workshop, the October CRA workshop is on our website to view. And you can see Jess Sowards from Curry, Sowards, and Aguila present the study that he did for us. So basically, he was looking at the entire West Atlantic Avenue within our district from I-95 to Swinton to look at development opportunities, what could be put where as a whole. And for us, we are focusing on 3 blocks. The 6, 7, and 800 block on the south side is what our RFQ for commercial property marketing services is for. That RFQ does close Thursday, January 16th at 4 p.m. So if you do know of a realty firm that provides those marketing services, specifically targeting grocery, pharmacy, financial service sectors, please have them check out our RFQ on our website and see if they're interested in submitting and helping us essentially market these properties to developers or tenants in those sectors. Those sectors were determined to be the ones that the community feels they want to see in these 3 blocks. They need and want grocery, pharmacy, banking, financial services, medical services in these 3 blocks. The demolitions that I mentioned that are happening, redevelopment site maintenance, we in March of 2024, we had the opportunity to purchase 102 Northwest 5th Avenue. This is a building that's right beside 98 Northwest 5th Avenue. It's right on the main strip there, and we are going through exterior improvements right now. The roof is being replaced. We are going to be painting, changing out the doors and windows, improving signage on this building. So as this year moves along, you'll see this building looking a lot better with improved lighting as well. We still have some funding assistance programs that exclude aid guide. We have the Paint Up and Signage program that runs throughout our district. And then we have project consultancy and design services, site development assistance for those tenants that move into CRA-owned properties. These funding assistance would be available to anybody that moves into 95 Southwest 5th Avenue, our new space that we're targeting for medical services as well. Our appeal program is funded at $600,000 again this year. And this is run through the neighborhood services department at the city. We fund it, but they administer the program for us. It's up to $15,000 per home for exterior improvements. So if you know anybody that is in our Northwest Southwest neighborhood, please let them know that this is available every year and there's still funds available to take advantage of this $15,000. Arts Warehouse, as always, still open, still running programs. Grace puts on great exhibitions as well and workshops. It is going to go through improvements as well. We are fixing up some of the exterior and interior spaces, maintenance in terms of new ACs, and we're repairing some concrete on the floors there, but nothing major. But we did allocate funds for upkeep and maintenance of this building this year as well. Our workspace, like I mentioned, right now it's only on Tuesdays, but we are hiring a full-time person to staff this office space, and hopefully in the near future, it will be open 5 days a week, full-time, for anybody who feels that they would like a different space to work in or a place for meetings and a break from their, Starbucks or their home office. These are just different fees that we have right now, we looked at different co-working spaces that are in our county, and we feel that these are super reasonable based on the co-working options that are out there. The green market, always popular. It runs through, May 17th this year. And then the summer green market will pick up right after Memorial Day, May 31st through July 26th. The summer market application will go out probably in a month and a half or so. So if you know of anybody who's interested in becoming a vendor at our summer green market, please tell them to keep an eye out on our website or sign up for a newsletter so they can get pushed that application. And we also accept SNAP at the green market now. So another benefit that we've layered on to one of our programs. We've also been notified that the grant program that we're part of that doubles SNAP benefits has been extended so that there's no cap on the doubled benefits. So if you know of anybody that receives SNAP benefits, please let them know that our green market doubles benefits there for purchase of produce. So shopping at the green market is a great location for them to stretch their dollars. Again, our GIS map that is a great resource for anybody, but especially those that are interested in keeping track of our projects, keeping track of the land that we own. Every piece of CRA owned land, vacant or otherwise, is layered onto the GIS map, and you'll see which ones have buildings, which ones are vacant, which ones are earmarked for current or future projects. So if you want to keep track of, anything that we do update this regularly. It's a great tool to just get information really quickly. If you miss one of our meetings or workshops, you can always go to the map to figure out what we own and what we're doing with it. You can also feel free to contact us as well, but this is just always up on our website. And that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope this was helpful for everybody and letting you all know what the CRA is up to this fiscal year.
Christine, thank you so much. I know that the CRA always participates in the First Friday Forum and does a quick report, but I think the audience can see why we really wanted to give you, the whole spotlight for one of our First Friday Forums, because the CRA is doing so much, and so many of your projects that you've been working on for years are coming to fruition now. So what I was excited about is we've got quite a few real estate people on the call. So it's good for them to know a little bit about the spaces that are available at the Edmund Baines building, which is the below floor for your co-working space. The container project I'm super excited about, because that's really going to be an incubator for small businesses, little shops and little restaurants. It's going to be a great space for them. Also, the 600, 800 block RFP that's just coming up that's just ending is important for the real estate people to know about, as well as and the Southwest 5th building for healthcare. That is going to be a great opportunity and great for the community. So that's exciting. Glad that we've got some real estate people here so we can hopefully help you fill up those affordable spaces for small businesses. I love it.
Yes, thank you so much.
So from any questions for Christine, who'd like to chime in?
Christine, that was a very comprehensive report. Thank you very much. That was outstanding.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. What do we ever do without the CRA in Delray Beach?
It's true. So any other questions or comments for Christine?
Yes. Hi, Christine. This is Ishmael. The question I have for you, I see that the CRA looks into federal funding grants. Do you look at financial institutions to assist in financing of these projects as well, or is that something that's not inclusive to your projects?
So in recent years, we've fortunately been able to just pay for our projects cash. That has everything to do with the health of our district right now, the property values, that's how we're funded. But as these projects are getting larger and larger, especially the infrastructure projects, we have broached the subject of taking on loans and taking on debt, whether it's us or the city takes it on and then we just make the payments on the loan is something we haven't hashed out yet. We're just not there. But we do have regular conversations with financial institutions just in terms of, what are our options of opening lines of credit or what's out there available to us for future projects.
Okay.
So we haven't had to utilize, loans or anything recently, but we are talking about them for future projects.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Christine. And we love having you attend these every month anyway to give us an update, but now everyone has a comprehensive overview of what's going on. So it's very exciting. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so I'll turn it over to David for our partner reports.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Good morning, everybody. Let's go in order of appearance today. So that first one would be Michael Corbett.
Great. Let me see if I can share my screen. Well, if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is the job fair we did on Wednesday. With the City of Delray Beach, the Chamber, with the DDA and other partners, we had a phenomenal hospitality-focused job fair. We had a number of great properties, the Ray, Opal, Aloft, Delray Sands, Modern Restaurant Group, Big Time Restaurant Group, Coulter Hospitality, Palm Beach State College, Lynn University, the CRA was there, Christine and her team. We had 153 attendees. It was really well attended, a perfect day for a job fair. It was just really a good time. We'll follow up with these employers to see and find out how many people they hired. So we're now going to start working on our construction-focused job fair in March. Rob Evans from the city is pretty much the leader of this effort. We're so glad the city is behind this. We've had a good time with automotive. We've done healthcare. So obviously workforce is a priority here. The other thing that we have done is, I was going to give you an update. We're at 3.5% unemployment across the county. The county of Palm Beach is in wonderful shape. You hear me say this each and every month. Every sector is up for the most part. Education and health services, government is up, construction, trade, transportation, leisure and hospitality, manufacturing is up. The only two industries that are down slightly are IT and professional business services. For some reason, those have just ticked down a little bit. I spend a lot of time on economic development with the municipalities across the county and the Business Development Board, obviously. I've never seen the pipeline of companies kicking the tires on Palm Beach County as strong as it is right now. The biggest challenge we have is affordable housing. When the companies look at Palm Beach County, they would love to come here, but sometimes housing is an obstacle and a hurdle to get through. But that's my update. I hope that was helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Good work. Good work. Next to appear today was Gustav Weibel from Discover the Palm Beaches. Let's
Thank you.
discover.
Yeah, good morning. The tourism has been kind of on fire the last couple months. December hotel performance looks about 14% up in revenue. We're continuing that trend into January, February through season. So things are looking great. I want to plug the tourism master plan. We're kind of at the end of the data collection period, so getting as much community feedback as possible. So the last push is we have some surveys. I'll put a link to where all the surveys are. There's about 27 different surveys in various different categories, from agritourism, safety, I mean, all kinds of different topics. So if you have any expertise or know anyone that has expertise and wants to kind of put their last kind of comments into what would be helpful for us in thinking about what tourism would look like in the county for the next 20 years, definitely take a few minutes to fill out one of those surveys. Each one would only take about 10 minutes. So you can do all of them, one or two of them. I'll put a link in there. There's also all the reports that we've done so far. I'll send a link there to all that stuff, so you can see everything that the consultant's seen, 80 different facilities within the county. They've evaluated them. We've done one-on-one interviews, focus groups. So there's summaries of those reports as well. So I'll put a link in there if you can help and take a couple of those surveys. That'd be much appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Discover the Palm Beaches? Okay, next up would be Amy Alvarez from the city. City Planning and Zoning Development, whatever you call yourself these days.
I think she had to go to the same
Oh.
meeting that Kent went to, so we lost them both at 9:30. But Jeff Orris is here. We can put him on the spot, the assistant
Yeah,
city manager.
Jeff can report for everybody. Jeff?
He was here. Did they all go to that meeting? Jeff, I
He's
know
on. He says he's here.
okay.
Well, meanwhile, Stephanie, why don't you give your report?
Oh, I absolutely will, because I have some things that I want to talk about today. So 2025 is going to be the year of the small business. So we've gotten together with our partners at the city and the CRA and the DDA and the SBDC for us to cross-promote all the programs and events that we have that are targeted to helping small businesses. So the first that you already heard about, that we kicked off this year was the hospitality job fair, which was very successful. I was out front with Michael and Rob, and we had people from the Hyatt Place walking candidates down to speak to the hiring managers, like on the spot right then. We talked to some of the restaurant groups, and they had applications stacked this big on their desks. So they were really excited about that. So we're continuing that program that we started last year. We did automotive and healthcare last year. This year we're working, as Michael said, on hospitality and construction, and we'll see what we do later in the year. But it's because when we talk to our businesses, and we hear the same from the DDA when they talk to their constituents, that the hardest thing that they're finding is getting good qualified workers into their businesses. And there's some great careers that people can have here in Delray Beach, but we also have plenty of people in our town that don't have good jobs. So we're continuing to try to put them together with our partners at Career Source. They're amazing. So you're going to be hearing a lot more from all of the partners about all of the programs that we have for our small businesses. For the chamber this month, one of the things we've started is the You Grow Business Series. We've got a great committee. Some of the committee members are on this call today, as a matter of fact, and it's a learning series that we're going to hold quarterly. The first one's going to be on January 16th. We've got great speakers from FAU that are going to be there to talk about business and scaling. But throughout the year, we're going to hear about accounting and finance and marketing and branding. So it's a great program for any business to get a refresher. But we also have the SBDC providing speakers as well. And we're very excited about really getting into this program. It's nearly sold out, but if anybody wants to attend, it's next week on January 16th. We also have contacts and cocktails that night, so it's a busy chamber day. Our board installation lunch is January 22nd, and it's at the Aloft. So that's when we pass the gavel from Kay Johnson's to Sean Hall. And so we'll be there to celebrate that. We've got our new member jumpstart that we hold quarterly on the 24th, the YPAD socials on the 29th, and then there'll be an SBDC workshop at the chamber for our new members to let them know all the programs that the SBDC provides for free for our small businesses. So that's part of our year of the small business. So I'm going to hand it over to Jeff, because I see that he appeared and he can give us a quick update on what's going on with the city.
Yeah, I apologize, a little technical difficulty here getting me and unmuted there. Just a couple of quick things that are happening here at the city. One, I want to let everybody know we have appointed a new city clerk, Alexis Givings. Alexis was the deputy city clerk, and in early December was promoted up to city clerk permanently. Additionally, along those same lines, the city will be shortly announcing a new director for the Department of Neighborhood and Community Services. Many of you may be aware that Sammy Wallflower, the current director, resigned. Essentially, his last day will be January 31st. The new director, once announced, should start before Sammy leaves, so there'll be a little overlap there, and hopefully, I always hate bringing up the negative stuff, but hopefully we'll be able to address some of the issues people have been citing about code enforcement once we have a new director in place. Also want to let everybody know that we are coming to the end of this long ongoing disparity study that we've been talking about for a while. It will be presented to the commission at a workshop on February 11th. We will have one more community meeting on January 29th in the city commission chambers, just to discuss exactly what a disparity study is for and what it does and what it doesn't do. We did a community meeting in late spring last year, and some of the community members were a little confused about what a disparity study is for and what it does. Disparity study essentially determines whether we have appropriately contracted with minority and women-owned businesses, or whether we should take some efforts to try to change that balance if we find a disparity between the amount of owned minority and women-owned businesses out there are not equal to the amount that we're contracted. Again, that meeting will be held January 29th in the city commission chambers. Other than that, I only really want to make everybody aware, remind you, the Delray Open's coming up. February 7th through 12th is the active dates of the Open. Let's all go out there, support the tennis tournament, and also don't forget that's going to put a little bit of a crunch on downtown and parking in the immediate vicinity of the tennis center. Stephanie, you got to unmute yourself.
Thank you. You did the same. Thank you for the reminder about the tennis. We can't leave the building once we park in here during that week, or else we won't be able to come back to work. So I'm just sharing my screen quickly to let you guys know what we have coming up for the First Friday Forums in the new year. So we've just heard from Christine. I'm trying to move this. We just heard from Christine. On February 7th, we're going to hear from Lieutenant Gary Ferreri from the police department, and he's going to give us a demo on the real-time crime center that they've recently implemented. We'll hear in March from Laura Simon, so she'll get her chance, just like Christine got today, to give a much more comprehensive overview of what's going on with the DDA and Old School Square. We're also going to hear from about the reef restoration project on April 4th. So we'll hear from Jim Chard. That's an exciting new program that's taking place. We'll get an in-depth overview for Discover the Palm Beachans from Milton Segura, who's their CEO, on May 2nd. And on June 6th, we're going to hear from Senator Lori Berman, who's going to let us know what happened at the recent legislative session in Tallahassee, which ends in March. So we'll hear from her between sessions. So that's what we've got coming up for this year. We'll let you know what's going on in the latter half of the year once we get everything organized. In the meantime, any other questions or comments before we let you go? No? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. And thank you again, Christine, for that wonderful presentation on the CRA. We will send this presentation to everyone that's on the call today. So I'll be sending that to you later today. Have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy the weather. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.